Good morning, everyone. I'm Billy, and this is January 360. Today we are in Ketchikan, Alaska, the very first city in Alaska. It's really windy out, so you might be hearing a lot of wind noise. That's why I'm sitting down behind this statue here. This statue is a statue representing all the different types of people they had at the beginning of the city. So you have like, you got the Native American here, you've got a pilot, a miner, different jobs. In fact, the lady up here, she represents the ladies of the night, the prostitutes. So we're gonna wander around the city, take a look. Most of it around here is little shops, and there's a statue of a dog down the wharf. I'll tell you a story about that once we get to it. And here's a full look of the statue. Prostitute, the miner, the native chief, the con man, it's also a miner, and the bush pilot, and then back to the fisherman. So one of the things that Ketchikan is famous for is the totem poles. All these here in the store are made right here in Ketchikan. I actually bought one, and in fact I'll come up here and I'll show you which one I got. You can even get them as large as this. I was thinking about getting bear and cheese works here. This is this one actually costs about $900 to ship because they have to make a crate for it. But if you want to get one this big, they will send it to you. And this is the one I just got right here. And they also sell lots of jade up here in Alaska. This is kind of like their precious stone. And I did get one of the little whale tails you see inside the case there. And then here are just little hangings, same type of patterns that are famous for the Indians in this area. In fact, up where we live up in Washington, they make this kind of stuff there too. These are some of the other carvings made of other stones. Right now they're actually having a sale. You can get 10% off the totem poles here, and the ones on the back wall where we started, they're up to 50% off. And this store is totem poles, soapstones, handcrafts made in Alaska. Alright, so you all know how everywhere we go I have to get a magnet. Well, I'm also real big on eagles, and this is kind of a crazy looking one. It's made out of like a knot of some sort. So of course, yes, I had to buy it. So here, right off about 30 feet off the road is this river. And go down this end of it where it's still kind of calm, you can't see the sun, you'll see the salmon swimming there, and they're gonna try to swim upstream because that's what salmon do. And you can see there's some kids up there actually trying to fish and catch some of them. They've got like a big statue of a big salmon right here. This building right here beside us is actually a museum for the Ketchikan area. So you can see, like, there's the main drag right there, and then here we got this river. Only in Alaska. So right down there, I think you might be able to see them just a little bit. There's a whole bunch of salmon. They're slowly moving upstream. I think they're trying to prepare to hit those rapids. Well, I wasn't able to find the statue of Sadie. So Sadie was this dog that ran around the town. Nobody owned her. She just was like everybody's. And she would hang out in this bar, and she would sit there, and she always knew when the ships were coming in. She would hop up and run out to the pier, and the boats would be coming in. Even when a boat wasn't scheduled, she would jump up and go there, and the people thought she was nuts until they would go out there and there would be a ship. One time a ship was way overdue, and everybody had thought that the ship was gone and everybody had perished. It was like 2 or 3 days late. And in the middle of the night, all of a sudden the dog popped up, ran out to the pier, and here came the ship. So everybody pretty much adopted Sadie. They made a city ordinance that all dogs had to be licensed and stuff. Well, since nobody owned Sadie, you know, the pound was going to take her away. Well, everybody in the area, all the shop owners, gathered up money and paid for a lifetime license for Sadie. When Sadie finally died, I think she was like 16 years old, she was actually buried beneath the pier where she always ran off to, and that's where they put the statue and a little plaque. But with all the cruise ships in today, everything's kind of blocked off, so I don't know if we just can't find it because of all that, or I don't know. But when I was here a few years ago is when I first saw it. Well, this eagle here is really cool. It has nothing around it that says what its significance is, except for what the markings has to do with one of the Indian tribes here. I just thought it was something that's kind of cool to look at and thought maybe you'd like it too. So I did find a little plaque back here behind the eagle. So this thing's called Thunderwing, and it was made by a local artist. All right, so I just discovered that the dog is actually in Juneau, and we didn't see it yesterday. I could have sworn it was in Ketchikan here because this was the first city. So if you ever want to see the dog, the story's still the same, but it was actually in Juneau. All right, so that's the end of our day in Ketchikan. We were only here about 4 hours. Most of it here is just shopping and a little bit of history. You can take some excursions around, but main thing is to save all your time till you come to this part before you go shopping, because everything's a lot cheaper. You can get shirts and jackets and stuff for $20 or less. You know, in fact, there are a couple stores that say that $19.99 or less, everything in the store. The only things that's going to cost you any kind of real money are the totem poles that I showed you earlier. So we leave from here, we head to Victoria in Canada. Again, we're only there like 3 or 4 hours. If you didn't know it, cruise ships, every time you take a cruise, you know, you go to Hawaii or you go to Alaska, it has to touch down in a foreign country or they get charged some ridiculous penalties. So on the Hawaii cruise, you know, we touched down in Ensenada for a couple hours, but here we're going to stop down in Victoria, Canada for about, like I said, for about 3 or 4 hours, and it's going to be at night. We get to like at 7 and we leave at 11. So we'll go into town and look around. There's only like 2 or 3 things we can see in that short of a time. So I'll show them to you and then be back home to Seattle. So I'll see y'all tomorrow.